Hey, good morning. It is 7 o'clock, and welcome also to Facebook Live. It's our mid-morning show coffee break. Speaking of computers, I got it for Father. Wiz put he programmed my hard drive old stuff out, put the new stuff in, plug it in, boom, ready to
Okay.
go.
Okay. So when are you going to do that?
Well, that's the question. I don't know. Well, it's supposed to be rainy today. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
try and
today's a
do
good
that
day for
to
that.
do that today. So anyway, but I'm thankful for that. He and my other son kind of got together and bought this stuff for me from Father's Day, so that was really special.
That
Nice.
is wonderful. We're
So,
talking about dads today
yeah.
because we kind of missed Father's Day on Friday because we were doing share, and so we
Right.
didn't get a chance to just focus on dads. So if you want to talk about what you did on Father's Day, or maybe something special about your dad, or share a special experience
Right.
involving your dad, give us a call this morning at 800-221-9356.
Yep, or you can leave a comment here on Facebook Live as well. If you're watching, thanks for that. You can make a comment there. What did you do for Father's Day? 7:04, here's Mercy Me and You Rain on Moody Radio. Good morning.
So thinking of Father's Day,
Yes.
Ken, what's the best thing about being a dad?
Uh, let's see. Well, grandkids is one of the best things. But when it comes to my kids, just seeing how they are growing up and maturing and seeing how God is using them, yeah. I'm really proud of all my boys, how they're very loving husbands, and they're two of them are loving dads. And then my daughter, she is she is a beautiful woman inside and out. She just, I don't know, she's just very special. And so seeing her with her child that they wanted for so long, weren't able to have, but because of, you know, um, the God giving them really a child, and seeing her love him and raise him, and yeah, just seeing them mature as adults, and just seeing how God is working in their lives is very cool. So
I mean, that could be a real encouragement to a younger dad right now who's
Yeah.
kind of in the throes of it. Because you remember when they're little, you
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
they're never going to grow up. You feel like you're
Right.
never going to get out of the house or
Yeah.
the bathroom or whatever.
Right? Yeah. I mean, for years, I was always telling my wife, oh, it'll be so nice when we can finally have some time to ourselves. All the kids are gone. Now that they're gone, now I'm going, I want you guys back. Just remembering some of the good times. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that would probably be one of the best things for me as a dad, is to just watch them growing up and being proud of how they're living and doing things. And of course, they make mistakes. We all do. But for the most part, just living life and seeing how they've grown up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's
So.
neat to see how God is working in our kids' lives.
Right.
Even if sometimes they don't know, we can see some things that are happening.
Right.
They might not even see themselves.
Yeah. Right.
And it's neat to.
And so I
to
try
do that.
I try to communicate with them, saying, hey, you guys are doing a good job. I know it doesn't seem like it. Seems like sometimes you're swimming upstream all the time against the current, but you guys are doing a good job. Just from the outside looking in.
Yeah. Way to
So,
be an encouragement to
try
your
to
kids
encourage 'em,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about you? Tell us about your Father's Day. What you really enjoyed about your Father's Day, or maybe just something you love about being a dad, and something you really appreciate about being able to be there for your kids growing up. I mean,
Right.
it's what a gift to have a dad that's involved. I mean, that's just a real gift that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very grateful for all those good dads.
Yeah. Sure are.
Great song from Mercy Me. It is called You Reign on Moody Radio Quad Cities. Ken and Deb here. Great to have you with us on this Monday. Boy, a big old storm coming through the area.
Oh, yeah. Summer
And,
storms. Nothing like it.
It just got dark real quick there, and seeing a lot of rain. I think it's let up a little bit here at the studio, but for a while it was really coming down, and lightning and everything. So just drive carefully. Take a little extra time getting where you're going this morning.
Yeah, and no hay today.
No. No, as Mike
So
said,
you get a
we're
break
having,
from the hay.
as Mike would say, we're washing our hay today.
Yes.
But yeah, so don't do that. But we do want to hear about your Father's Day. We had some folks chime in on Facebook Live about their Father's Day. Phyllis said that they had a great time at a campground, campsite. Great afternoon. So thanks for that.
Yeah, and we were actually with them. So that was
good.
It was Tom's birthday yesterday.
Oh,
so
very cool.
They're back from France, been missionaries there for a long time.
How long was it? But so happy birthday late, Tom. Also, Dave got through and said he had a great Father's Day with his wife, Wanda. She made him spaghetti with meatballs.
Yes,
There you
yeah.
go. Sounds good.
So how about you? What did you do on Father's Day? We want to know this morning. You can call or text 800-221-9356. We'd love to hear from you. And coming up, we've got a good dad that we're going to talk to about how to have a good marriage.
That's right. We're going to talk with Gary Chapman coming up about his new book, 5 Simple Ways to Strengthen Your Marriage. We'll have that just after 7:30 this morning.
So good morning to Bonnie and Phyllis and I think Heidi. I saw Heidi and Jordan. Thanks so much for joining us on Facebook Live. And maybe you could tell us something special about your dad that you really appreciate, or a way that you honored him yesterday.
Right? So one thing that was really cool is that my son Ben, we went over to their house last night, but they went on a family fishing trip yesterday morning.
Really? How fun
So
is
that
that?
was kind of fun. They went and did that just for a short period of time. And then they came back, and they have a couple of kids that are very susceptible to COVID-19, and so they try to stay as much isolated as they can. So obviously when they went out, they went to an isolated spot, but then they came back home and they watched our service with me preaching from home on the TV. And so they went and they did service yesterday. So that was kind of cool. And they told us about that. And so
That must be really rewarding to think that your son was watching you preach.
yeah, I had
must
actually
be-
two
Oh,
of them
wow.
did yesterday. My son Kenny also from
That
Omaha.
is-
They watched yesterday.
So did they give you any feedback?
No, they just said that was a
Okay.
really good job. You did a good job. It was very
That's
good information.
neat.
So
Yeah.
that was nice.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then also, there were a bunch of people that were at church yesterday that I hadn't seen in a long time because they've moved away, and but they were back for Father's Day and stuff like that. So I got a chance to see them and meet and see them again too. So that was pretty cool.
Yep. That's nice.
It is 11 minutes after 7 o'clock. Ken and Deb here. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody that participated in Share this last week. What a great week of hearing stories of how God is working in people's lives, and how also he's using them in other people's lives, too. That's very cool.
So thanks so much for listening in this morning. And we're looking forward to talking with Gary Chapman coming up here in a few minutes. But also, we'd love to hear about your dad this morning.
Right. Yeah, we'd love to have you do that. So you can get a hold of us by calling or texting us at 800-221-9356. Here's Matthew West with The God Who Stays.
Okay, I had a little senior moment. Sorry. What did you start talking about? I had a senior moment. I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to say. What?
I was talking about Share
Oh,
and saying
Share.
thanks for Share.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
And you went right into the other. I'm going, well, I guess we're going that way. Yes, no, just thank you to everybody that gave last week
yes,
and Share.
thank you
and,
so much.
it was very, very cool to see how God is working, but also just, we're thankful that we reached our local goal
Yes, we are.
here in the Quad Cities. And You know, I have to be honest. I was a little nervous about that because of everything that's going on in people's lives.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but just real thankful
Yeah. So
for that.
thank you very much. We appreciate you. Over 103% of our goals. So we're very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I was trying to do two things at once, and I cannot do that. So I was trying to read the comments on Facebook Live,
Right?
and you were talking, and I was like just reading, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should have been listening.
Well, I kind of figured that when you kind of went right off the old detour there.
Okay, so we're going to talk with Gary Chapman. I wonder if listening is probably one of his 5 simple ways to.
Improve your marriage.
I'm sure that's in there. It was one of the top ones, but anyway.
Yes. Hey, Jordan said that he's very appreciative of his dad because his dad goes on the road. He moves people with their business, Blackhawk Movers, and he's in Pennsylvania today
Oh, he is.
doing a load in. And so, yes, appreciate that. They, Chuck and Meg and all of them have been
Yes.
great friends of our ministry for a
They
lot of years.
are,
so.
and she makes the best cinnamon rolls ever, and cookies. She brought cookies one
Yes.
day. That was
You know
really
what?
good too.
I
She's
have
just-
to admit, I don't know if I've ever had one of Meg's cinnamon rolls.
Oh well, they are to die for. But I guess that's a little hint.
Yeah. I'd love to try one of those. Anyway,
Just salt in the wound.
I know.
Never had them. You don't know what you're missing out on.
They're like the best ever.
Well, I'll tell you what, Meg is just been such a blessing to my
Yes.
family. She taught my daughter Melissa how to cook and sew at Sycamore Christian School.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, she did, and that was good. She made some homemade rolls and things like that. Just excellent.
I've heard they're
Okay, I'll
excellent.
stop talking about it right now. They're really good.
Hey, Deb, Phyllis was calling you out on Facebook.
Oh, she was. About what?
Deb, you need to be a senior to have a senior moment. One day your day will come.
Stay young as long as possible.
Oh, and Dave says I make orange glaze for cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yum.
Well,
Yeah.
Dave, you want our address? I'll even send you a pin on Google Maps so you can find your way here.
Ken would probably even drive to your house. Have cinnamon rolls, we'll come.
That's right, exactly. Hey, we can do the rest of our show from Dave's house.
Coming back.
Matthew West with The God Who Stays on Moody Radio Quad Cities. Thanks so much for being along with us. And it's great to have you also on Facebook Live this morning as we're doing our mid-morning show coffee break. And it was kind of interesting doing it last week, during Share, people kind of getting a view of how things happen in the background during Share for a short glimpse. And so that was fun, being able to talk about that. So thanks for joining us last week on that, too.
Yep, and we really appreciate the fact that you're listening to us this morning and also giving, and we're just so grateful this morning, and we're grateful for our dads. And we really didn't get to give a shout out to dads last week, so
Right.
we're hoping to do that this morning. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook that have been so heartwarming,
Yes.
just memories of dad and things people miss about their dad or appreciate
Right.
about their dad or just so thankful for concerning your dad. And you mentioned this on Facebook Live, but nobody's perfect.
Right.
And there's no person that is perfect and
Yeah.
doing it all right. But we have a lot to be grateful for. If you had a dad that just stayed in the home,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big Thanksgiving,
Right.
reason to give thanks.
That's right. Also, maybe you learned a lesson from Dad. Maybe you'd like to share that this morning. Some lesson that you learned from your dad. And I understand that not every person had a great,
Right.
growing up
Right.
time, difficult times. But if you did learn something from your dad, I mean, I didn't have the greatest experience growing up with my dad either. He was gone a lot and different other issues, but I did learn. He taught me how to fish and taught me how to hunt and to take care of myself and things like that. And so there were certain things that I did glean from him as well. And so maybe there's something that you learned from your dad you'd like to share with us this morning, a little lesson.
Yeah.
That'd be great too.
Our phone number is 800-221-9356. Lessons from Dad. You can also text those at 800-221-9356.
717, great to have you along with us.
Well, that's an interesting question, too. Lessons you learned from your dad.
Yep. I think, even though we all, maybe some of us have not had great experiences growing up, but you know what? We have a Heavenly Father that we can learn lessons from, too.
Right.
And so what lessons has God shown you as your Heavenly Father? Could also be another great question we could throw out there, too.
800-221-9356. I was thinking about this yesterday because I don't know if I have enough time to. I think we do. Our pastor talked about, God sitting down with us and saying, we got to have a talk
Right.
about loving one another. And he started the message out with, when your dad would say, we sit down, we have to have a talk.
Right.
And I thought back, and I don't think I ever had that with my dad.
Really?
And so you feel kind of like you missed out,
Right.
and I started to feel really sad. I don't think he ever did that. Don't remember ever doing that.
Yeah.
And, but then, God brought to you have a lot to be grateful for.
Sure.
Your dad was there in the home. He worked hard.
Mm-hmm.
He had to work a really hard job.
Right.
So, you have to be grateful for what God's given you and learn what you can from your experiences. And it's easy to feel like you missed out,
Right.
is what I'm
Oh, yeah.
saying.
Yeah, definitely. So,
It's something you have to, I guess, work through and just kind of turn your mind toward. I'm going to be grateful for what I did have and try to work through it that way.
yeah. Yeah.
720, good morning. It's Ken and Deb here. One thing that's just pretty recent is our Today in the Word app that we have available. So if you enjoy getting Today in the Word, maybe you get the hard copy of it every month. When you give to Moody Radio, you get that every month. But we also have the app now where you can actually read it, listen to it, get a new scripture verse every day on there. It's real cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could take this outside and sit out on your deck and
Right.
just put it on there and listen to it while you're watching the birds and drinking your coffee in the morning.
you go.
Probably not this morning, but
Unless
on
you've got a nice porch.
other nice mornings.
Right. But you can get that wherever you find your apps for your device. Just go ahead and check it out. It's Moody Radio's Today in the Word. You can get that app. 720, here is Pat Barrett with The Way on Moody Radio. News is up next.
So Heidi was saying that her dad worked 3 jobs to keep us 4 kids from being sent to Annie Whitmire when my
Wow.
mom was so sick. He kept us together.
Wow.
Very cool.
Wow. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that testimony. Wow.
Dave said, I learned to go to work every day and not take random days off. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Heidi wants your cinnamon rolls too, Dave.
That's one thing my dad did teach me how to do is, like he always made the pancakes
Right?
and because he was a baker.
Right.
So he taught us how to bake bread, or at least he tried.
Yeah.
He brought me one time to work with him.
Okay.
I remember that. And yeah.
So I always wondered, how do bakers get the stuffing inside the donuts? Did you see how he did that?
No.
You didn't see how he did that? Come on, Deb. We need to know these important information.
I remember him making the bread more than anything
Oh, really?
else. Yeah.
Okay.
And also he was a cake decorator.
Oh, okay.
So he, tried to show me, but I was left-handed.
Right.
So he quickly gave up. Because he was pretty accomplished on that stuff. He could do
Okay.
it like that,
Wow.
just create.
Make the roses and everything.
Yeah, yeah. He
Wow.
was a really
That's
good
a talent.
cake. Yeah, he was a really good cake
Really
decorator.
is.
So, but yeah, so think of the things your dad, gave to you. Maybe it was your faith story was founded in the fact that your dad came to know the Lord, and like Ken, you're the first one in your family that passed down your
Right.
faith.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean-
Yeah. Kind of stopped, a certain lineage and put another branch in the family tree and have Christian faith into the family tree. I also learned something else over the weekend, that my daughter-in-law Kim was doing some genealogy work on her husband, my son Ben, and found out that our lineage goes back. Now, see, I always thought we were English because of our name and everything else, but no, it's actually goes back to where was it? I can't remember where she said, but it wasn't England, like I thought. I thought, that's interesting. And she said it turned out that during that particular period of time, people would change their name to an English name so that they could come into the country or something like that. And so, yeah, very interesting. What did she say? I think the name that she found traced back was like Ferguson or something like that, but it was
Oh.
changed. So I thought, interesting.
Maybe you're Swedish.
I don't know. Borski, Borski, Borski.
So if she figures out what it is, are you gonna switch your name back,
I don't know.
reclaim your history?
Maybe.
If we say
Ken
it's
Ferguson.
Deb and Ken Brookson,
Right.
the
I
morning.
combine the two. Yeah, there you go.
Gustafson and Brookson.
All right, so we'll leave you with that note. You can go do your own genealogy to report back. But thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live this morning for our mid-morning show coffee break. We appreciate that. You can still make comments below on this post if you want to, but we'll see you tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock here on our mid-morning show coffee break. Have a great rest of your day.